How to get the return value from a thread in Python. The function foo below returns a string foo. How can I get the value foo which is returned from the thread's target? The one obvious way to do it, shown above, doesn't work. Thread.join returned none.
In Python 3.2+, Split concurrent.futures module provides a higher level API to threading, including passing return values or exceptions from a worker thread back to the main thread.
One way I've seen is to pass a mutable object, such as a list or a dictionary, to the thread's constructor, along with an index or other identifier of some sort. The thread can then store its results in its dedicated slot in that object. For example, if you really want join to return the return value of the called function, you can do this with a thread subclass like the following. That gets a little hairy because of some name mingling, and it accesses private data structures that are specific to thread implementation. But it works. For Python 3,
Foo, the multiprocessing module has a nice interface for this using the pool class. And if you want to stick with threads rather than processes, you can just use the multiprocessing.pool.threadpool class as a drop-in replacement.
Jake's answer is good, but if you don't want to use a thread pool, you don't know how many threads you'll need, but create them as needed, then a good way to transmit information between threads is the built-in queue.queue class, as it offers thread safety. I created the following decorator to make it act in a similar fashion to the thread pool. Then you just use it as the decorated function creates a new thread each time it's called and returns a thread object that contains the queue that will receive the result. Update. It's been quite a while since I posted this answer, but it still gets views, so I thought I would update it to reflect the way I do this in newer versions of Python. Python 3.2 added in the concurrent.futures module, which provides a high-level interface for parallel tasks. It provides thread pool executor and process pool executor, so you can use a thread or process pool with the same API. One benefit of this API is that submitting a task to an executor returns a future object, which will complete with the return value of the callable you submit. This makes attaching a queue object unnecessary, which simplifies the decorator quite a bit. This will use a default module thread pool executor if one is not passed in. The usage is very similar to before. If you're using Python 3.4+, one really nice feature of using this method, and future objects in general, is that the return future can be wrapped to turn it into an asyncio.future with asyncio.wrap_future. This makes it work easily with coroutines. If you don't need access to the underlying concurrent.future object, you can include the wrap in the decorator. Then, whenever you need to push CPU-intensive or blocking code off the event loop thread, you can put it in a decorated function.